All right. Good morning. Good morning. This day got this morning really got ahead of me. I looked. I started sitting at the computer earlier this morning, and then I looked at the clock, and I thought, oh God, I got to get onto my live. So very like a rush this morning. So hello everybody, welcome. It's Monday. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. As always, looks like we've got a few people here, anyways. And Abigail, yeah, the fireplace starts us off. We like to relax. Abigail, haven't seen you for a while on the channel. Hi. I know you've left some comments before, and I saw a couple on the weekend. So welcome back. You must have been on holidays or something, maybe, but welcome. And we'll see who else is here. Hey, good morning. It is Monday. Markets look okay today so far. We got a good start when things kind of start into the green. I did check out a couple of my stocks and stuff, and they look okay. So we're kind of carrying on from Friday. I don't know if anybody has looked at what they're doing. And you were. So welcome home, wherever home is. And good morning. Welcome back. Hopefully you're well. How did everybody? Hopefully had a good weekend. It's like Mondays seem to come so fast. Coffee is ready, so let's get started. Few things to kind of chat about today. Obviously, on Friday, as you know, if you've been following the channel and everything else, I finally bought into Tesla, which was nice. But then today, of course, it's down. So there you go. Everybody should have. Whenever I buy something, it goes down. That being said, I think it's maybe some opportunity to get some more. I wasn't planning to do it. I wasn't planning to do any more deposits for the next little bit, but I might. We'll see how that goes. I know there's a few people on the channel that have bought it at the CDR as well, and I think a couple people have actually bought the actual shares. But beyond right now, I'll just kind of stick to the CDRs as something I was talking about in my community tab a little bit. It's something I can kind of I find easier. The price is less, right? So easier to kind of get into and average into without, because I don't have the US account either, so I'm not kind of losing anything, but more Canadian hedge, so I'm not losing anything on all the exchange rate volatility and everything right now. So that's my theory for getting the CDRs. So let me know your thoughts on that. Other than that, let's pull up and see what's going on here, because I did get a bit of news, and obviously one big thing that's coming up. Let me just share the screen when I can here. There we go. Let's share that. And we can add this. So 5 things to watch for Canadian business world this week. And first thing first, good morning, Nadia. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning in to the live stream. I think this is your first live stream as well. We always got a good group of people here. We enjoy the fireplace before we start, and just relax, have a chit chat, see where the conversation goes. I usually pull up a couple news articles, and then we just kind of get ready for the workday as we go here, have our coffee, hang out, and roll with that. So 5 things to kind of watch. Oh yeah, we'll get into that. So shorts, my shorts. I'm going to buy a Tesla. So if you sidetrack, let me remove this so I can kind of say, yeah. So the shorts on my chat, like obviously I share the regular videos on the channel, but the shorts are meant on my channel to have a bit more fun. They're never going to be taking anything too seriously, and I put that up on the weekend. So I have a short going up. Basically, it's scrolling through the online Tesla store. It's kind of because I just bought Tesla stock, and I thought, oh, my short, if I get 10 million views on the short, I will buy a Tesla stock. Or sorry, not Tesla stock, Tesla car. I have quite a few views to go, Nadia. Though it has right now, I think just over 1,000 views on the shorts, but that's what shorts do. They're kind of fun. So that's what I share. That's why I share the shorts like that on the channel. Are always kind of a bit of, whether they're clickbait or whatever, they're just kind of fun to post. We usually do a little bit of market update with the shorts, that kind of stuff, but more with kind of hopefully a lighthearted poke at investing and things like that. So hopefully you enjoy. If you're watching. I know not everybody watches the shorts, so 5 things to watch. I guess the big thing, I can scroll down here. Let's just see. I mean, there's big earnings. It's like earnings season, right? So if any of the stocks you're watching, I know Shopify, But the big thing is the rate announcement on Wednesday from the Bank of Canada. So it looks like rates are going to be going up. I think we knew that. We knew that for a little while. How much? That's a little bit of a question. From what I've kind of predicting, gathering, I think we're probably looking at another like 75 basis points again, but maybe it'll be slowed down. I don't think we're going to get the big like 1% anymore, but we'll have to see. That's Wednesday, so I guess we can count on higher borrowing costs come Wednesday for everything. But on the flip side, if you're saving, this is the thing. This is the thing with savings is the banks never seem to pass on the savings as quickly as they pass on the increases. But in theory, obviously our savings accounts should hopefully be making maybe a bit of increase if we have any extra money. We'll see. But borrowing obviously going to be more expensive. Yeah, big day, big exciting day when everybody watches what the Bank of Canada is going to do, and then they look at what they have borrowed and they get stressed. So hopefully this will. We're seeing, like last week, we're seeing inflation slowly come down. It's just not coming down as fast as, I guess, the powers that be want it to come down. But I mean, you're noticing things. I mean, Nadia, like you notice now, gas is cheaper. I mean, I filled up for $1. It was I'm the West Coast here, but it was $1.89 a liter, and that was like it's like a sale on gas. So, and you can see everybody was there, like it was the gas station was almost lined up, but it's gone up. It looks like it's gone up a little bit. I think when I checked it, when I drove by a gas station yesterday, I don't pay. I mean, I obviously pay attention when you have to get gas, but like I said, I don't. Everybody knows I don't do a ton of driving, so it was nice to fill up a bit cheaper, and that'll last me for a while. But so that kind of thing is coming down in price. Groceries obviously still expensive for food, but everything seems to be coming down slowly. I think from my understanding, like a lot of the retail is going to be sitting on a lot of inventory right now because there's the supply, back to supply. Like, so maybe this inflation was all supply chain. I don't think so, but I mean, obviously the supply chain backlog is starting to free a little bit, but they're sitting, like companies and stuff are sitting on a lot of inventory. So I think there'll probably be some, if you're looking for things come Christmas, for gifts and for things, you might be finding some good sales. But yeah, it's pricey. Or like butter is the big thing. Like I stopped buying butter. I love it, but it's like I use a lot of olive oil now because I think it's a bit better value, a bit better value there with where I would replace for butter in cooking and stuff like that. But yeah, loaf of bread is expensive. Food is all expensive. I mean, even lettuce and what have you, right? Pet food, if you have pet food, that kind of stuff it's all gone up in price. So that's the big thing for this week. And then on Friday, I guess I could pull this back up so you can actually see the GDP for Canada comes out on Friday as well for August. So big week, I guess, big week in Canada. And then if you do own Air Canada, speaking of Canada, if you do own Air Canada shares, they do have they have a conference call so they must have their earnings coming up too. That's the one thing. Air Canada was one of those pandemic kind of plays that hopefully will go up eventually, because it was a decent stock at the time, right? Back, I guess, almost 3 years ago now, but paid dividends. It was great. I think it was up to around like $50 or something like that. If I remember correctly, $52, but it's like basically less than half the price now. So I think a lot of people got into that as a hopefully, much like the Cineplex and stuff like that, because a lot of the industry, like a lot of the things that were shut down. But Air Canada just hasn't seemed to catch a break, right? They just, obviously everything's getting more expensive, back to inflation. Obviously for flights, if you're trying to book a flight, it's pricey. Cost of fuel is more expensive. So just going, and olive oil is better. Yeah, I put olive oil on my like a nice olive oil on my popcorn now instead of butter. It's actually really tasty. But there we go. And then the last thing, I know one person at least, and I'll put this in the in the page, the one person on the channel has Twitter, and is waiting. Like the comment was, he's waiting for it to get bought by Elon, and then he's gonna sell it. And well, obviously it'd be sold, but then he'll use that to buy Tesla shares. But Elon's come out basically last week and said when he finishes when purchasing Twitter, he's going to be laying off 75% of the staff, which is very interesting. Hopefully, I'm glad I don't necessarily work for Twitter, because it's probably not a great place right now. Everybody wondering what the heck's going to happen with their jobs. But I'm going to assume there's obviously ways that he knows or thinks there's ways to cut back on the employees of that. So I'm a not a I wouldn't say I'm a big Twitter user, but I have been on there for a long time, and it's a really good source for news. I'm more of a lurker on there than I think posting anything, that kind of stuff, but you can learn a lot on there. I think it's a good platform. It's probably my favorite, other than YouTube. Obviously YouTube is my favorite, but like social media type platform would probably be Twitter, just for the speed of the news that you can find. If there's any kind of anything happening with the world, you can typically find it out on Twitter before it hits the big websites. If you're like the aggregators like Google News, that kind of stuff, news will come onto Twitter first, from people. So it's a good way to kind of see what's going on, with different topics. Like I do follow a lot of kind of investor tweeters, whatever you want to call them, on there as well. Some of the digital asset stuff, that kind of stuff, is there's a lot of knowledge on Twitter to lose. And no TikTok for me. I don't know if anybody. Yeah, I don't know. It's not my thing. If you like it, you like it, but I just never got into it. I guess the shorts. That's what YouTube's trying to do with shorts. Is they're trying to kind of pull that demographic and and revenue from TikTok into YouTube. That's why you see the shorts, like the one I shared last on Saturday has 1,000 views. Not that that's a lot of views, but it's real. YouTube is really pushing out shorts from channels. So that's kind of what I do. It's just kind of fun. You get different eyes on your channel, that's for sure, because it's a different type of person enjoys short form videos as opposed to long form videos or live videos. Even you do get different people. Obviously the viewers watching here usually will watch my long format videos, but they probably don't always watch my shorts. Anyways, that's on that. And I've tried that. Right? I have an account. A couple. I mean, I don't know if you're involved with them or not, but if anybody's not sure what Blossom Social is, it's an app that's come out in Canada that it's kind of like an investment social media app where you can start your profile, you can track your stocks on there, and then you can follow other people based on the stocks they own or their watch lists, and then you can post. People also post little. It's not. I wouldn't say it's like LinkedIn, but it's updates like that kind of stuff where they'll give tips, that kind of stuff. So what do I like it? I'm kind of here nor there on it. I don't. The one thing I don't like about it is right now, like, it was fine. I was all set up, had my profile. It's great. I just don't see the point in spreading my, like, personally, I don't see my point in spreading myself too thin in all these different platforms and places. I've just chosen to focus. If I'm sharing anything, I'll share it on YouTube. So I've decided against, Blossom. And it's also, I don't like the fact, like, you used to be able to put in your investments. You could do it manually, and it was set up. You could just add, like, hey, I bought one share of BTC.Y, and it would update and whatever, carry it. But now it seems to be popping up for me all the time. They want me to link a brokerage, and I just don't see. I don't want to. Not that I don't trust them. I just don't see myself using it enough to want to share that information with a third party. That's just me. So does it hope? I mean, obviously, if it's a good idea, I guess, it's not for me really. But there's I think quite a number of people like I know that are on there, and I know there's some other YouTubers that have are more active on there, and they have a referral program. So if you get a friend, I think, to sign up, you get like $5 or something like that. I mean, that's kind of neat if you want to push that. I looked at, like, that's what kind of popped up, and then it goes, oh, you can't do that, you can't share this out until you set up your brokerage, and I just don't want my investments really on there. Part of it is, like, with YouTube, I can choose what I want to share out there. Whereas I haven't really looked. If I link another brokerage, can other people see if I have what other investments I have at the same firm? I don't know. It's just not for me. I'm kind of here nor there. But I hope they do well. A couple young, I say young, but a couple young is like people that started it up, and hopefully they make a go of it. Yeah. The one thing that's kind of neat about it is because they have that learn and earn, is like you can do different quizzes and stuff like that, and it pays you a few dollars, and you can either take that out. They send you an e-transfer of that to your email, so you can have that to do whatever you want with. But they also have this thing now where you like, if someone posts an article that you enjoyed or something that you enjoyed, you can send them a gift, which is like you send them $1, which is kind of neat. So I can see someone that maybe spent some time actually focusing on it. It's a good thing if they can build that community up. I just can't be, well, not that I just don't see I just can't be bothered to stretch myself out to more things. I have a YouTube channel. I have another YouTube channel. So it's like, there's only so much time in the day to be able to be in all these places. And I've decided to focus on one. So hopefully that's a long answer for do I like Bloom Social, but that's my answer. Thanks for asking that, though. I do appreciate it. If anybody has any other questions, I'm happy to answer. And I had one more article, but I got to find it. I always lose these tabs, right? That I want to share, and I think I can't find it now. It was something about. Oh yeah, it was. There we go. And this is why I'll share this link. So this is basically why Tesla is down today. They're cutting prices in China because they're seeing softer demand, which is interesting. Maybe they'll cut prices here eventually, so I can buy one. But down 5% today. They've cut the cost of the cheapest locally, I guess, built in China Model 3 by 5%. And the Model Y by 8.8%, because I guess people aren't buying as many Teslas in China now. So that's interesting. Maybe we'll see. I mean, eventually, I think the cost will come down for these cars, right? I think electric cars in general, there's still such a premium on them, and you can. I still don't know whether I don't know whether the premium can be, you can see all these calculations, right? The premium of them, you save X amount on fuel and that kind of stuff, with obviously with maintenance and things like that. But I'm still yet to kind of, actually believe that there's that much of a premium, especially for, I mean, obviously I own Tesla stock now, but I mean, not much of it, but especially obviously a premium electric car is the cost going to cover, does it actually cover that? But I guess you're not comparing the Tesla Model 3, which costs like, how much was it here? I mean, in China, it works out to that's US dollars, 36,000 US, which is, like double that almost in Canadian. Not really double, but you know what I mean for Canadian. They're not cheap, so you're comparing them to kind of a premium automobile anyways. I'm not comparing them to like a lower priced imported internal combustion gas car sedan, little 4-door base model sedan. Because even if you look at some of the other vehicles, like the Hyundais, I've looked at like the Ionic 5. They're getting up there. They're getting up there in price too. By the time you add, what you want on them, in terms of features and that kind of stuff. So not cheap. But I think, like, I mean, I've said it before. I almost paid my car off, which is great, and I'll keep driving it. But my next one would probably be electric when the time comes. But I'm obviously in no hurry to. I'll drive the one I have. I'll just drive it into the ground till it's not worth anything anymore, and basically save the car payment and put it into investments. That's kind of my goal with that. Yeah, I like that one. I like the Ionic. Is it the Hyundai? Yeah, the Hyundai Ionic 5. It's kind of neat, like a little crossover, and it's the same kind of base as the Kia, like the same drive platform or whatever you would call it. But the Kia is a bit more traditional looking, but I kind of like the inside of the yeah, is that Ionic or ironic? Yeah. But they're nice looking cars. Yeah, and there's infrastructure everywhere now to charge these things up, so that's not really a concern anymore. But if it really takes off, that's something that the infrastructure really has to get built up, right? I mean, there's a gas station on almost every. It sounds like, if you go to its town, there's regular gas stations everywhere. Those will all need to be, obviously, if there's no more gasoline engines in the future, all of those will have to be charging more charging spots. But then again, then how do we power it's a whole kind of thing, right? How do we power the infrastructure for the electricity? And depending where you are, that could be obviously natural gas, coal, nuclear power, or whatever. So that's the whole kind of thing. We're never going to get away from needing energy somehow, even if it's just to charge batteries. But they're getting better. They're getting faster to charge. But maybe my next car. I don't know. Is anybody watching? Do you drive a fully electric car or a hybrid car? I don't know. I don't know if Nadia. I don't know. But they're nice. They're nice and quiet to drive in. Like at the low speeds, it's almost kind of weird when you're in an electric car because it's not making any noise, really, other than the outside noise a little bit that you hear in a normal car. But you don't have that the same feel, which is it's just kind of an odd. At the beginning, it's kind of an odd sensation that you're not used to, especially when it gets going quite quickly, because the acceleration on a lot of them is quite fast compared to a regular car. Yeah. And I think that was all the news. That was all the news I had. The market's doing okay today, holding up. It is the big thing is earnings, right? So we'll see how we do. Like this week's earnings, we've got a lot of the tech this week. So if you hold any tech firm, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, so that'll be like, I mean, it kind of works out a quarter of the like if you're in an S&P 500 like ETF, it's like almost a quarter of the holdings of those are those big companies. So we'll see what happens with our S&Ps. And what did Nadia buy? Oh, you don't drive enough. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, it's true, actually. Yeah, you probably won't. Like, depending on how much if you have a commute or something like that, is it really worth it? Probably not, like on a cost basis, other than, I mean, if you want to save the planet, but is it really saving them? I mean, this is the thing. Is it really saving the planet? Especially if you're not driving a lot, it's hard to say. Everybody's got their opinions on that, but that makes sense. If you don't drive enough, if you work from home, yeah, definitely makes maybe a bit more sense, as opposed to having to fill up every, once a week or twice a week or more, depending on how much you drive. Yeah, yeah, that's MC, and welcome, MC. I think it's the first time commenting, so welcome to the channel. It's great to have you. And it's kind of weird. It's like there's no, it slows down and you're just sitting in, like you're sitting in silence. It's definitely a weird, it's definitely a weird sensation at the very beginning. Like I don't own one, so I've only driven in one, in a hybrid. Like a lot of the taxis are hybrids. So sometimes you're in a taxi and all of a sudden it's like it's just creeping along. And you're like, so why so quiet all of a sudden? But yeah, yeah. But a lot of the new, like a lot of the new cars, like even MC, even a lot of the new gas cars, they'll stop the engine at the stoplights now too. You can turn that, like, and then when you take your foot off the brake, it starts up again, and then you can go. So with that quick startup, I don't know how good that is necessarily long term on an engine or not. I'm gonna assume the engineers are smarter than me, and it's okay for them. But that's something that as well. You can sometimes, if you're walking across a crosswalk and all of a sudden there's like a truck, SUV or something beside you, and then as the light, you can hear it as they kind of start to go, it starts up. But yeah, and you have a Kona. Is that a no? Is it a Hyundai Kona? I'm not sure. I'm not a huge car person. Yeah, that's the one. So it stops. So you can save a bit of fuel. So you're not idling. Yeah. So that saves some money, I guess. Do you notice more fuel efficiency? It's probably a newer car though. If you got a new car, they seem to be better fuel efficiency than if you're replacing an old car, or that's a gas guzzler. And I would definitely like to not have a car at all too, Dave. Good call. You just need it though. Like I don't use mine very much, but when you want to go get groceries and everything else, you gotta. I mean, I don't have a huge car, but you sometimes you need it. Unfortunately, unless you maybe live in a big city or something where everything's nearby and you can walk everywhere. But if you want to go turn around and get groceries or that kind of stuff, or go camping or whatever, you kind of need a car, unfortunately. And so Nadia's, yeah, it's a Hyundai. Okay, it's a Hyundai. Starts and stops. Now, Nadia, do you notice any kind of savings in gas really if that happens? But I guess if you're not driving a lot, you wouldn't necessarily notice the difference. I always think that it's like with mine. If I'm stopped somewhere, like, I mean, if you're stopped like waiting for a train or something, you can always turn the car off, that kind of thing, but not at the lights because mine doesn't start up again. The big thing I noticed with fuel efficiencies, if you don't pay attention, your husband, yeah, that's too funny. The one thing I noticed about fuel though is when I go, like my car's is this little Mazda, and it doesn't. I mean, it's not cheap to fill up, but in relative to other, because when you go to the pump and you see the price, what someone paid beforehand, how much they bought. You see, like obviously it's been a big truck or something in there. It's like $200 for a tank of gas. And it's like, oh, I'm happy this goes for Dave. It's like I'm happy I'm driving my little car around. It's not going to turn any heads, but it'll save me at the pump. Yeah. And Nadia, I think your Hyundais, I think they make them hybrid too. I think those would I think those would be I think they do hybrids. And I know a friend of mine's dad used to have a hybrid, like a Toyota, and they liked it. They said it was good with gas. So yeah, my next one will definitely be either like an electric or hybrid. It's kind of, I think, a given. Like so many manufacturers are coming out with them that that's probably the direction I'll go when the time comes. I have no plans to buy anything in the future though. So I knock on wood, everything keeps running on my car for the next little while anyways. It'd be nice to get a couple more years at least out of it. I think I will. I don't drive that much. Do its regular maintenance. It should be fine. As long as no one hits it or something like that. That's where an older car, all of a sudden you got a decent little car and then someone bangs it, or you get into just even a minor fender bender, and like the insurance, like, oh, it's written off, sorry, and they give you peanuts for it, what's left, and you got to turn around and try and find either A, get a new car, which is going to cost you more, or B, hunt out for a used car and you never get what you want. You never get out of it. Not worth more than, when you're perfectly happy driving a car off the thing. So that's that. We'll see. Let's see what's doing. Let's see. Speaking of cars, we'll see what if Tesla's doing anything today. Nothing. But if I know I can see Alibaba today. There's lots going on in China. I won't get into all that, but Alibaba looks like it's down big time today. And the big one on Friday was Snap. Let's see Snapchat. Let's pull that up. Oh, so it's back. Let me pull this up. Oh, it's doing okay today, actually. Let me share this. Let me share this screen because Snapchat was down. I'll just share it on. Oh, there it is. Let's share that. There we go. Found it. Snapchat. So Snapchat on Friday was down like 30% or something like that. It's up 7% today. So if someone bought it, I can go to the 5-day here. Like if someone bought it it was Thursday. Thursday it went down. So if someone bought Snapchat last week, they're probably doing okay today. I don't know anybody at the channel. I think someone commented like, "Oh, is it?" I think someone asked me, and this is why you never listen to me. I think he said, "Should I buy Snapchat now?" I said, "I really don't know, but I wouldn't." But then there we go. Had they would have been up 7.6% today. But obviously, don't take my advice. Do your own as we say, do your own research. If I would have bought it, it would have been down 7% today. So that's just the way things go. But so that's good. So someone if someone on the channel, I think, ended up buying that. Maybe I don't know. Candace isn't watching today, but maybe Candace was day trading Snapchat today. We'll see. Candace must be busy because she usually jumps on, so she must be hopefully making money today on the market. And I'm looking forward to her videos on day trading. That should be kind of fun. Kind of learn a bit about that, especially from Candace, because Candace is very researched and methodical. Does a good job explaining things and doesn't do like a big hype up about, it's easy to make money. She's not, she goes into the nitty gritty and will hopefully, so somebody might kind of try, maybe put a small amount into something to try that out once I learn all about that, but we'll see how that goes. And that's it. This coffee is hasn't kicked in yet. And I'm still learning. I can share. Let's turn that off. I'm still learning how to use, I gotta get better at, oops, there we go. I'll share my screen here. I'll pull up Snapchat. I gotta get better at starting to kind of look at, here we go, add that in, like look at charts. So there's Snapchat on Trading View. So obviously this is a 1 minute. So it kind of showed that it was, you can add in these different flags and indicators. So it looks like at this point, it looks like it was right, but I can't read this. I don't know. This is like reading Greek for the most part, reading Greek to me. So I'm hoping once Candace does her how-tos, we'll understand this a little bit more. But so that's a Snapchat doing okay. And yeah, this is actually I was up early this morning. Nadia woke up early and had coffee, and then I topped up before the live stream because I needed another one. But I didn't make I have a French press and I just added some more water to it instead of grinding more coffee. I was too lazy to grind too lazy to grind more coffee. So I just kind of reused it a little bit and made a bit more because there was some left. Other than that, yeah, it's going to be one of those days. It's like it really seems all of a sudden, I don't know where everybody's from, but on the West Coast here, it all of a sudden seemed like fall instantly hit autumn. Like as of a few days ago, last week it was sunny, nice. We didn't have rain for, I want to say almost 3 months, probably. Like we were in drought here. There was water restrictions, and that's like in October, which is super rare for the West Coast. And then all of a sudden, this last weekend, it's like you go outside and it's cold. You can see your breath in the air. It's rained a couple times. All the leaves are now finally starting to come off the tree. So it's like instantly. So it's like those early morning coffee. You need them to kind of get going now because it's cooler out, and that's why the fireplace at the beginning of the show is definitely needed this time of year. I wish I had a fireplace. That would be nice. If I had a fireplace, I would have the fireplace on right now. But then I know, like in Alberta, I have friends in Alberta, and they had a big dump of snow, so can't complain here. That's for sure. So we might as well. We're coming up just over halfway. So thanks for watching. There's always good comments and questions. I love it coming on here. It's just nice. It's a nice, relaxing way to get started for the day, to see how everybody's doing, what they're doing with the market. So in terms of what I'm doing on the channel and in the market, obviously you saw on Friday. If you always check out the community tab, because I'll post the screen images of anything I purchased. And I went shopping on Friday, so that was good. And then I did share the portfolio update after the market closed on Friday, which was nice, and we were up a little bit, and it seems like we're carrying on today, which is good. So the plan going forward is probably, but I don't think this week. Obviously, I always time things with paydays, and if there's extra funds around. But probably next week I'll do a purchase, unless I see something, unless I really see maybe a good deal. Like if the Tesla goes down a little bit more, maybe tomorrow I might kind of go, okay, I'll maybe buy a few more of those. But there's really no plans. We'll just kind of ride things out. There'll be some dividends coming up end of the month. I think we'll be getting TransAlta Renewables, so I'll reinvest in that one. That one's not fractional. So what I've been doing is, if I get the dividend, if I can purchase a fractional, what I'll do is I just roll that dividend right into the fractional share and just let it go. But if it's not, what I will do, like TransAlta Renewables, you can't buy a fractional share. So what I will do is I'll just top up my account to be able to buy one. So I can always kind of start getting those dividends at least to work a little bit. So that one's coming up. That one pays at the end of the month. And I can see, let's just see, I think there's another one coming up. Is it, let's do a search here. We had RioCan. RioCan pays at the beginning of the month. I think that's the only one. I think that's the last one I get. Let me just double check. Yeah. I think TransAlta is like the last pay for the month of dividends, and then there's the ones roll in like the beginning of the month. BTC.Y pays. If RioCan's pays out the beginning as well. REI. Let me just check. I should pull this up. I think we've talked about this website before. how I find out all my dividend streams. So REI pays out on the 7th. So that'll be coming up. And I think the only one is RNW. Is the end, like it's always like the last day of the month. Yeah. On the 31st of this month. So Halloween. We have to have a Halloween episode. Dividend hasn't changed, so always like that. But then I think the rest start to pay at the beginning. Like BTC.Y will pay on the 7th of November. And I think Slate pays. They're the 15th. So we'll start to roll those in. So this is a good website. I've shared this before, actually. Go to the front page. Hold on here. So it's dividendcalendar.org. So it lists them all on the front page of what it polls kind of. It doesn't pull the front page like obviously every stock. It must have some kind of criteria, but then the best thing is you can go in on the top and you can actually search. Like, so if we could search for BTC.Y, we'll find out we're going to get paid on the 8th right there. So it's a handy way to track out what it kind of puts them all in one place. I don't think you can do this. This would be kind of nice is if this website allowed you to, it doesn't let you create an account or anything like that, which I guess can go both ways. Like, it doesn't have an account, so it's not giving you there's no ads or anything like that. So it must just aggregate the data from somewhere. Someone obviously runs this thing, and you can't save your profile, which kind of is there must be other ways to do that on other sites, but I find this one so simple to use with the search. You can just go in and search. So if you're looking for something that you are wondering, like if you're going to be buying a share, and all of a sudden you find out that the ex dividend date is, you were planning to maybe buy it in a day, 2 days from now, but then you find out the ex dividend date is coming up or something. So you might buy something beforehand if you're planning to buy it anyway. So it's kind of a good way to kind of look at it that way. It would be nice if you could have a watch list, but unfortunately you don't. So it's a good way. And it seems to be pretty accurate in terms of what the payouts are amount. If it does say, like you can see on the right hand side there, is if it'll say like unconfirmed or estimated, because they're just kind of estimating it out to the end of the year. So that might change, but typically if it's a current one, it'll be pretty accurate in terms of what you're receiving for your dividend. And then obviously in Canadian, if it's a Canadian stock, this is in Canadian dollars. If it's a US stock, it'll be displayed in US dollars, obviously. And there's a little flag, like if you go back to the beginning, like obviously you can see here let me go back to the front page. You can actually see US funds, Canadian flag, Canadian funds. Pretty straightforward on that one. So that's a good site. That's Dividend. I'll just post here. Let me post the. I think I can post the link. I'll put it up on the chat. There we go. So that's the website there. Dividendhistory.org. So that's a good one to check out if you haven't checked out already. And if you're looking to track track your dividend, I know a lot of people have some spreadsheets that are super intensive for tracking. That's great. But I also have a spreadsheet that you can grab on my channel. That's a real basic one for the year. So it breaks it down by quarter to let you know how much dividends you have, and you can punch it in as you go, or you can just, what I kind of typically do at the end of the month when I have them all rolling through, I'll just total them up on a calculator, and then I add it to my spreadsheet that way. So it kind of lets you see a little bit of growth to go. but it won't take it. Yeah, there's some real technical ones out there that other people have. Some of them you have to pay for. This one's free, so I found it quite handy just for my needs on there, anyways. And that's all for the channel. Thanks everybody for tuning in. It's always great to have everybody here. I'm almost needing to top up too, so hopefully your coffee is still topped up for everyone that is watching. So in terms of, like I said, putting deposits, purchase, maybe some more Tesla as the dividends come in. I'll just continue adding to that. No big plans for big purchases anytime soon on anything. Just slow and steady. I think during this time is kind of the way to go. Hopefully we get a bit of a. Hopefully come the new year, I don't know. There's maybe we'll get we talk always the comment about maybe come December we'll maybe get a Santa rally a little bit. We didn't really have one last year. I'm not going to have my hopes up for any kind of Santa rally this year. I think we're into this gritty kind of ugly choppy time. It seems like I've been saying it for a long time though, like, I don't know. It seems like we've been in this market for almost, well, not a year, but coming up pretty close to a year. I think kind of things started to get ugly around February, March last year. We kind of see like the prices coming down and just lots of volatility and everything. And I think we're still seeing that everywhere. And I think we'll still see it for the next, I think at least the next until the new year when things turn around. I think the big thing is going to be, obviously we talked about it earlier in the live stream, rates in Canada are going up. But the big question is going to be when are the rates in the United States going to stop going up as well? So there's talk of slowing a little bit, but until I think something kind of actually happens, I think we're going to be in this for a while. So I think that, I'm just going to be slowly dollar cost averaging and not change, not trying to chase anything to make a quick dollar. Just do slow and steady deposits on the positions that I have, and that will carry forward into the new year. And then hopefully maybe we see a bit of a pause with the interest rates increasing. That will do a bit of turnaround with the market. But I think we're still in for a bit of a rough ride for the next little while. That is for sure. So I guess just be smart out there, everybody. Don't jump into anything that you don't bet it all on one thing, I guess is my theory. And we'll see how this pans out in the long run. I think we've got a good group of really disciplined investors that aren't necessarily chasing things. So slow and steady wins the race. That's my theory. That's what we'll stick to. On the note with investing, obviously it hasn't been announced yet, but because we're using our TFSA, and because I guess I don't know if there's a benefit of inflation, but if you're an investor, there's a benefit in the TFSA because next year our allotment will be increased because of it's basically tied to the amount that we can deposit is tied to inflation. So I think it's going, if I've read it correctly, it hasn't been like officially announced yet, but I think it's supposed to be going up to 6,500 if I'm not mistaken. Someone on the channel has said it before. They've kind of like calculated it and figured it out. So 6,500 doesn't really impact me because I haven't maxed out. I have so much room in my TFSA already. So it's like, does that extra few $100s make that much of a difference to me? No. But if there's people that have maxed it out every year and have been lucky enough to be able to do that, that's great. So that gives us a bit more room, but then a bit more room going forward. So there's always not necessarily the worry. And it was Justin, yeah. So has it been declared? I guess I should check the Canada website. It probably would show on there. I should dig that up. And if it's on the website, good call, Justin. If it's on the website, I will search that out, because if it's on there, I'll do a quick video to post about it, because I know some people will probably be interested. And once it's like official on the Canadian website, then that would be worthwhile sharing. I don't want to try and share anything that might be not like posted or anything yet, but $6,500. There we go. Hopefully, I wonder if anybody, I think there must be maybe a few people that are watching that have maxed it out and are needing to wait until January to put money in. That would be a nice position to be in, let me tell you. But not me. I still have basically, what is the max now going to be then, Justin? If it's 88,000 or something like that. I mean, I still have about 78,000 that I could still put in, into my TFSA without worrying about going over the limit for that. So I have a lot of room. I should have started sooner. That's what I keep saying. If anybody's not putting money into their TFSA somehow, it's too bad. Hopefully they'll maybe learn from the channel a little bit. So there we go. 80. I was close. I said 88. So 88.5. And I know you've told me before. I can't remember everything all the time. 88,500 is will be the new limit come January 1st, 2023, which is crazy to believe it's 2023 or almost already. This year is almost over on there. Crazy. It's going to be, someone was talking about Christmas yesterday to me, and I'm like, oh, we'll worry about that when it's time. But it's like, they're like, no, it's coming up. And sure enough. Yeah, that's exactly it. Everybody's different though, right? I mean, I guess the secret with this is get a good accountant or tax person to look at your personal situation. It really depends, right? But RSP, yeah, it just really depends. Everybody's different. I used to work where I was in an employer that did RSP matching up to like a certain like percentage, right? So it was like a no-brainer because they would match it. But if you aren't necessarily in a certain tax bracket, there might not be any as much benefit, right? Just depends. But I think like on that note, like putting something in like if you're not sure about TFSAs or whatever, like at least if you're maybe doing something with your RSP, it's better than not doing anything at all. It's just a matter of now figuring out what makes the most sense for you, right? Tax wise. But I don't think you can go wrong saving somehow, even if it's not the most tax efficient, at least you're saving money. And SM Finance, welcome. First time I think you've commented on the channel, I know, but welcome to the stream. If you caught it first time, so we go, and we're actually coming to the end, but anyways, this is what we normally do. We jump on Monday to Friday, banter for a while, usually pull up a few articles in the news to see where the conversation goes. It's usually a decent group of people. We kind of get more and more every day, which is awesome. So it's great to have you here. And we go from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time. And I noticed just before I started the stream, I have to get better. But for some reason, StreamYard put the post to start at 9 a.m. today instead of 8 a.m. So if you were notified beforehand, before I caught it on, I can go back into YouTube and adjust it, but it might throw off the notifications. But if you're ever looking for a stream, if we're going to be live, it's going to be 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time. So whatever time it is where you are, that will be, you can figure that out. But I always kind of basically just do it before the day starts in the morning. Have coffee. The stream lasts about 1 cup of coffee, and then we move on with our day. Let's do a quick hit that like, because we're at the end, coming to the end here. So basically, make sure you, like I always say, it sounds so cheesy, hit the like button, helps out the channel. So if you haven't hit that yet, hit that like, and another viewer, so we can see we're getting these people. So thanks for joining, Jim Morrison. That's great. It's great to have you. It's always a hard time to know when to when to post or start to do lives. And I think the key is maybe just a bit of consistency. So I figured it works for me. If it doesn't work for you, I mean, the replay will always be on the channel. So if you can't catch everyone live, you don't worry about it. It will get posted onto the channel afterwards. So you can always catch up, forward through, anything like that. There's one thing to note though is if you're watching the stream, it takes about 24 hours for YouTube to get all the comments. But if I posted them on the stream through StreamYard, they'll show up, but I don't always get all the comments, especially if there's a lot of them. So you can always catch the live chat on the side after. That's just one way to do it. Let's just do one last quick check on see if we're still in the green here. So basically we still are. Yeah, we're doing good today. So that's a good sign so far, which is always nice. It's always nice to have a nice green day and end the stream when everything is looking okay, when things are in the green. So on that note, what I will do is I will do obviously a portfolio update as we do regular updates on the channel. People always seem to enjoy those. So if they're always more fun to share when things are on the up and up as well. So it's always kind of nice. We'll get those out while I can, while things are looking okay, and maybe everything will slowly start to turn around again. I'm not gonna hold my breath. Like I always say, not gonna hold my breath on that. That's it. We're rolling into 9 o'clock. So if anybody has any last minute questions, and shoot a question in the chat, we'll try and answer it. Or if you have a question for someone that's watching or anything like that, now's the time before we finish. My coffee is almost done, and then the 9 o'clock, my 9 o'clock shake will beep, and that means will be time to end it. That note on Shakepay, which is pretty awesome. They have a new thing now where if you keep, I should do a video on this separately, but they have a thing now where they're rolling this out. And if you keep a cash balance, like in it's a prepaid card, if you know Shakepay, I have a couple videos, check them out. But if you know, what happens is it works as like a prepaid Visa card. So you load your Shakepay cash account, then you can use it as a tap to purchase things, right? Gas, groceries, whatever. And it gives you, the welcome part is 2% cash back on Bitcoin. And then I think it goes down to 1%. But they have a new thing in your cash account. They'll be paying you interest on how much you hold in Canadian dollar. They'll be paying interest in Bitcoin every week. So up to $1,000. Now, obviously I haven't put $1,000 in it, but right now I just got, because they're just releasing this, they're doing it in waves. So for the first 3 months, I get 7% APR on my cash balance, which is kind of nice because your money, if you're just kind of letting it sit there for your I use it for my kind of day-to-day purchases, like if I'm going to get a coffee or buy gas or that kind of stuff. This kind of will encourage me to maybe put a little bit in there and just let it sit, because if I'm getting 7%, if I have $1,000 that I put into a savings account, I'll get, between 2.5, maybe 4, if it's a bonus or something like that. I can fire it over to Shakepay, and the bonus right now is 7% for 3 months, and then it will go down to 4%. So kind of interesting. It's just a good way. But I right now I just have my day-to-day kind of, there's got maybe $100 in there just to kind of for my day-to-day spending. But at least I'm earning something on it as it's sitting there, better than earning nothing as it sits. So if you haven't had maybe Shakepay, maybe check that out. I mean, I have links on my channel you can check out below the videos and stuff. Even just for saving and spending, it's a good I like it. And you get cash back in Bitcoin to save, even if you don't want to. If you're scared about buying Bitcoin, it's a good way to kind of get started and learn about it, because it doesn't really cost you to use that tap feature. Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier, actually. Alibaba is down. A lot of the Chinese. There's a lot going on there. There's just a lot going on in the world. So there's no like everything's ugly. That's the unfortunate thing. So there's no real safe place to put your money. Everything's down. It's just like, you just gotta, I think, carry on with what you have in your portfolio that you have convictions with. I guess that's what I'm doing. Whether that's the right thing, hopefully, I think in 5-10 years it will be. But yeah, it's just ugly out there. There's no you could have all your money in well, like bonds are were the safe haven, the 60-40 portfolio, right? If you have bonds in any type of portfolio, look at what those are doing. It's ugly. So there's no real winners right now. There will be, but we just have to get through. We just have to get through this time. But yeah, they're scary, risky. There's risk everywhere. I don't think it matters where you're putting your money right now. There's risk. And then if you keep it in your bank account, you're still not. There's risk that the inflation is reducing it as well, such as the world goes right now. Ugly times. We shouldn't end it on a dour note like that. Let's look. We're doing okay. We're in the green, so we are extending gains ahead of our earnings this week. That's the headline on Yahoo. So on that note, thanks to everybody for tuning in. If you haven't, before we head off here, hit that like button. It really helps with the channel. Thanks to everybody that is subscribed to the channel. The channel's really growing. Lots of people watching, lots of people tuning into the live streams. I really, really do appreciate it. And watching the other videos, watching the shorts. It's fun to see the channel growing. Even though the portfolio is not growing so much, it's nice to see the channel grow, and we can grow together. So hopefully we'll get through this as we always do. So thanks, cheers, SM Finance, and have a great day, Nadia, you too. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Thanks for tuning in, to everybody that tuned in for the first time, and then thanks to everybody that keeps coming back. Do really appreciate it. We'll leave it at that. Have a great day. We'll catch you all tomorrow.